Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtadar Khan, your host, and today I want to talk to you about the Canadian Security and Intelligence report, which just came out. It looks as if it raises the question whether Canada is trying to diplomatically balance its own national interests with the demands that India has been making for decades and has actually agreed to some of the things that India has been saying for the last 2 years now. Or one may be tempted to ask this question that now that Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, and Prime Minister Modi are trying to reset their relations by agreeing to work together on many issues, and also, more importantly, once again sending high commissioners to each other's countries. Basically, they had withdrawn their ambassadors, now they are coming back. Is the deep state in Canada reacting to this in a way in which they are respectful of their new prime minister, but also trying to limit the extent to which Prime Minister Carney mends fences with India? So it's very interesting. The report came out just one day after the meeting of Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Carney. They could have delayed this by a month. They could have delayed this by more than a week. There was no pressing necessity for this report to come out right then. But let me summarize what the report says. So basically, this is what the report says. It says two things which are very important. Number one, it says that Khalistani extremists are using Canada as a base for promotion of the Khalistani ideology, for fundraising in Canada, and they are also using Canada as a base for planning violence, primarily in India, which means that the Khalistani extremists who are based. So there is an acknowledgement for the first time by a government institution in Canada that there is an extremist element inside the Khalistan movement. So they're making this distinction. There are the Sikhs. Then among the Sikhs, there are those who are advocates for Khalistan. And among those who are advocates of Khalistan, there is a small segment of those who are extremists. And these extremists are planning violence, doing fundraising, etc. in Canada. But the violence is directed not towards Canada, but towards India. So basically, Canada is to India what in many ways Afghanistan is to Pakistan. So it's a safe haven for terrorists. So there is an acknowledgement to some extent, and there is no explanation in the report as to why this has continued and why they are able to do so, and why the government of Canada has not taken any steps to curtail Khalistani extremists, especially the ones who they themselves see as advocating and promoting violence in India. So there is this clearly, this is a huge victory for India, that they have finally compelled Canada to recognize that their land is being used by extremists against India. Until now, Canada had been continuously denying this. All it was saying was that people are peaceful advocates for a separate state of Khalistan. I mean, they allowed the French-speaking Canadians from Quebecois to advocate for a separate state for a long time. They even had a referendum. So for the Canadians, this was not a problem. Peaceful advocacy for creation of a Khalistani state in an independent nation state in the Indian state of Punjab. So the problem is political violence and extremism, and so they have now acknowledged that. But the second thing they also said is that, you see, Canada has been suffering from foreign interventions, and there have been, for the last 1 year, a lot of talk about foreign interference in Canadian politics, in Canadian democracy, the subversion of Canadian democracy by money from foreign countries. They have named China, Russia, India, Iran, and in this report, they also added Pakistan as interfering in Canadian politics. So they also said that India conducts foreign interference through clandestine, deceptive, or threatening tactics, aiming at aligning Canadian politics policies with New Delhi's interests, particularly regarding Khalistan-related advocacy. So they are also acknowledging that India is using non-diplomatic and, well, you can say not halal means of trying to reduce the influence of Khalistanis in Canada. They say that India uses proxy agents for activities that seek to influence Canadian communities and politicians. The report indicates that India and Iran are also using criminal groups to target opponents in Canada. So basically, what the CSIS, the Canadian Security and Intelligence Service, has done is basically said that, look, yes, there are Khalistani extremists in Canada who are planning violent acts in India, and they are doing fundraising and promoting here, but there are also peaceful advocates of Khalistan, and then there are Sikhs who have nothing to do with this last part is my acknowledgement that there are these two subsets. So there are Sikhs, Khalistanis, extremist Khalistanis. But so the question was, the timing is very interesting, that the report comes out just one day after Carney and Modi meet at the G7 summit and announce that they are restoring Canadian-Indian relations. They recognize that this partnership is very important. Both countries are critical to each other. And so to me, it appears that either Carney is trying to balance both, which means he's continuing Trudeau's policies of demanding accountability from India for political interference, and also especially activities that involve violence against Canadian citizens, such as killing Niger and others. So he's continuing with that policy, but he also wants to restore good relations with India, and therefore I think there is an acknowledgement of the Indian point of view, which is that there are Khalistanis who are also active, Khalistani terrorists and extremists who are also active in Canada. Either that, or one could say that Carney is interested in improving relations. He does not want to pursue what Trudeau was trying to do. He was going to just sweep all of this conflict under the carpet. But the deep state in Canada does not want to let it go, and so while they are making concessions to Carney and India by acknowledging the presence of Khalistanis, they also are bringing this issue back to the media and right up front in Canadian politics by saying that India is one of the biggest threats to Canada when it comes to foreign interference in its politics, in its policies, and its in democracy. So I thought I will just share with you this report which came out. The report is available on the internet. I will share a link to that report in the description of this video. You are all welcome to go and read it for yourself. It mentions India more than 30 times, and it is well written, even though there is no evidence that is presented in the report. That's not the purpose of this report, but it is very helpful. So do take a look at it. And thank you for watching Conversations. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share this video with your socio-political network. I plan to have a Zoom meeting with members only this Sunday on June 22nd, 12 o'clock US time, 9:30 p.m. India time. So if you're a member, please definitely join the meeting. I would love to meet with you and chat with you. And if you're not a member, then please click the links available in the video description to become a member. So thank you for watching Conversation. Until next time, I'm your host, Muqtadar Khan. Take care.